Where is purist? Monster coffee. Okay. Oh. Actually, no, I don't need those. Wait, actually, you're finished, actually. And the moment I go get the other stuff, what am I doing today? Yes. Yeah, I'll probably do this today. Okay, this really is just really working on me then. This cursed fucking shit. Ah, wait, I'm stupid. Well, go ahead and light this. Ow. No.
This kind of weather is more enjoyably spent under the cover of shade. Only in the grip of winter.
Stabilize.
Let me lead you over. Hey, stop! Booba, get them!
Solidify.
Witness the power of...
So,
Into the fire!
I finally played deltarune myself yesterday. That was certainly interesting, I gotta say. Managed to get through, while narrating everything, I managed to get through chapter 1 and defeat Jevil. While defeating Jevil and getting the egg. And what's more interesting, though, is that... Just use them all up. I have the one more. Is that it's more the fact that I beat Jevil in 2 tries. I was expecting to be sitting there for like hours trying to do it. I managed to beat him on my 2nd try somehow, which was absolutely insane. And then I went and beat him again, first try, with violence, which, if I remember correctly, is supposed to be harder. But I guess it is also simpler, because I'm not having to remember the pirouette order, or the pirouette turn order.
This kind of weather is more enjoyably
But,
spent under the cover of shade.
Add Astro...
I then went and,
Thank you for...
like,
Add Astro...
I wanted to set up my violence playthrough for future things. And when I was setting it up for... I did chapter 1 pretty much immediately. It was not hard to do. I then copied that file over to the 3rd slot, which is going to be my Weird Route slot. I'm going to be treating... I'm going to do Weird Route do with pure violence as well, anyways. But what's interesting about chapter 2 is that for the violence route was that I realized, wait a minute, I kind of want to get this weapon, which is the twisted sword, which normally you can't get because in the weird route, or just purely doing this route normally because one of the items required for it is the thorn ring, which you can only get in weird route. But if you finish weird route, you can't get it anymore. Oh, wrong button. Which is what's interesting. Actually, wait, hold on. Okay, I'm constantly for both. Is that if you finish weird route, or rather, oh yeah, because Noelle leaves the team when you use Snowgrave, but you need to have the Thorn Ring on her to use because it reduces the cost of ice spells, and even with the Thorn Ring on, it's 100%, and you have to use only Snowgrave to beat Birdley. And she will actually leave the team immediately after. So,
Transfixed.
oh, I did actually hit both.
No, my sword. Witness the power.
Gather.
You're toast.
Oh, that's everything here. Damn. So I was sitting there thinking, huh. I should just realize I've been used. Ah, shit! I just realized I should probably switch off of Arlecchino for this part specifically. Huh. I have to think about that. I forgot it's going to scorch them. Maybe I can drop anything. Okay, switching to the Fontaine team. Never in here should be built. Nope. You can switch back to this. There we go. So I was like, huh. I've got to get the Thorn Ring, but not finish Weird Route. So then I realized you get the Thorn Ring just before Birdley. So, and I looked it up, and you can actually abort the Weird Route at Birdley. By just before the fight, actually. You can do it in the fight, but you can do it just before the fight. By simply saying, I'm protecting her from you. Oh, I forgot it's just this button in here. When you're already gliding. How far is this thing? Oh my god. Actually, this is too far down, isn't it? Yep. And so I was like, okay. And so I went through all that. There's actually a recording on the channel now where I abort Weird Route at Birdley just to get the Thorn Ring. And with that and the eventual Pure Crystal, I should be able to do things pretty easily. Speaking of that save, though, I then proceeded to beat Bampton Neo first try. Literally, unlike Jevil, who I've actually done a few times before. That's because I always need these. But unlike Jevil, where I've actually fought him on other accounts before, or I fought him a little bit on the Switch version. I never actually finished that run of deltarune, but I did actually fight him. Spammed I had never fought before. One thing I noticed, though, is that the controller heavily limits how many times you can actually press the button. I miss flight. Man, when it comes to just moving around normally, man, Wuthering Waves is still so much better. Dude, this is so slow. But, yes, Bampton was a little annoying because I couldn't I couldn't fire as fast as I wanted to because after I fired a certain amount of shots, it would force me into like a refractory period where it wouldn't let me press any buttons. It's similar to all of these games where if I'm pressing the button, I can't press the button anymore. You see, it puts a little break in between attacks, or in between the sprints for some reason. Okay. It was something interesting, and then I went and fought Queen, and then it was like really easy. Something else I noticed, and that I actually researched while doing that, is starting in Chapter 2, you start getting buffs for defeating enemies with violence. What I hadn't realized about these buffs is that they're actually temporary. You lose them the moment you leave the Dark World, or rather, you lose them the moment you end the chapter, which I find interesting. The game does not carry over that amount between chapters. But it is useful while you're in the chapter, because by the time you reach the secret boss, you'll usually have a much higher health pool than you would have originally. Well, I say much higher, but it's only a bit. But your attack does... the HP isn't as big of a difference as the attack is. Because by the end of the violence run thing, when I got to Queen, I had like... I think Susie had like 25 attack, which is ridiculous. Especially because for Rude Buster, that gets multiplied by 11. Which is also something I realized. For some reason, I would have thought that magic had a higher difference than, the magic would have had a bigger difference on the damage of Rude Buster than attack would. But apparently attack has a higher difference. The Rude Buster... If I am correct about this, the Rude Buster, what's the word I'm looking for? Equation for its damage, the damage calculation is, attack times 11 plus magic times 8. If I remember correctly. Or no, I think it's magic times 5, actually. So attack has a significantly bigger difference on damage. However, notably is that the magic does actually still come into play later because if you beat Gerson, whether it's well, you all can only beat one light really. When you beat Gerson, he will actually give Susie, or essentially give Susie, a permanent buff to her magic stat. I think it's a +4 boost, which is a pretty big difference, to be honest. Most things that give magic is like a +2 at most. The weapon itself, the Justice Axe, is really good. It is some of the highest base attack in the game. But it doesn't actually give any other boosts, but what I like is that the description literally says, but the trials through which you managed to get it allowed you to, made you stronger in other ways. And I find that really cool. Following that thing, you can use any weapon you want. So, like, you can, if you want the Buster TP reduction and Buster damage increase from from Devil's Knife, you can still use that with Susie, and she will keep that permanent magic boost you got from doing the thing to get the axe, which I think is really cool. Also makes the Devil's Knife way scarier in retrospect, because now you have that permanent magic boost with the Buster damage increase that's on the thing, which I don't know if that's actually like a thing, but the Devil's Knife does also decrease the TP of Rude Buster, which already by itself makes Rude Buster better than Red Buster simply because of the TP difference. Even though Red Buster has a higher multiplier, the thing of Rude Buster now costing only 40 TP, meaning it's a full 20 less than the 60 required for Red Buster, meaning you can now spam Rude Busters, is absolutely insane. I never really appreciated the equipment and armor in Deltarune until I actually physically started playing the game.
Settle down.
It's kind of ridiculous how good the weapons in that game are. Oh, I'm not yet. There we go. On the healing. Yeah, with the Devil's Knife, you suddenly begin spamming, like, things constantly. I cannot wait to get the, I can't remember what they're called, but in Chapter 3 you can get items that, increase your TP gain, which is a nice way to offset the nerf to Twin Ribbon. Sorry, nerf to Pink Ribbon and Twin Ribbon. Which I'm still surprised about. The game still doesn't tell you that the Twin Ribbon and Pink Ribbon are nerfed starting in Chapter 3. If you don't know what it does, because I doubt so many people are going to be watching this, having been people that played Deltarune. But the Pink Ribbon and Twin Ribbon, which is crafted from the Pink Ribbon and White Ribbon, are items that increase the graze area, which when you're dodging attacks in the little battle box, because it's technically a bullet hell, you will, when you just barely dodge an attack, you will do something called grazing, which is when a little outline will appear near your heart, and that'll give you more TP, which is why the Twin Ribbon was so good for so long. Was because it had increased the Twin Ribbon, which is combining the Pink Ribbon and White Ribbon, will increase the graze area. And so you could get TP much more easily. But starting in Chapter 3, an mentioned nerf occurred, where they made it to where it actually,
My apologies. This
and which
heavy
same
rain must be
as it did before in Chapter 2. So, because technically each chapter is its own game, at least when it comes to files. But the it was given a nerf to where starting in Chapter 3, it will now reduce the amount of TP you get from grazing, which really sucks. I'm going to be leaving it, or I'm going to be probably going to be removing it on all of my accounts in the future. It's just kind of sad that they've reduced how effective it is, but they did add other items that increase the amount of TP you get, which I think is way better than the Twin Ribbon. Yeah, I think that's everything. I did like the idea of Chris wearing the Twin Ribbon, but oh well. Win some, you lose some. Okay, let's check on you. I should be able to do both of these now. Maybe. Maybe I'll make those. Ow. Ugh. Do those, make a bunch of these. Actually, I think I needed like, how many do I have? 4. You know what? Why not? give him a little boost on his ult. Which means starting tomorrow, I'll probably start using my Tainari. Do I have a team for Tainari? Probably not. Now that he's my next newly built character, who do I want to replace? I don't want to get rid of the region teams. Mondstadt, Liwa, Inazuma, Sumeru, Fonte, Nalan. I like building teams restricted to characters from regions. Uh, I can get rid of the Chongus team. I still use it a lot, but I can just put it into current because it's a pretty easy team for me to remember. So I use it so much. Tainari. Oh shoot, what do we want? Oh, is this just Magdalena? It is. Huh.
Who ate a poisonous mushroom this time?
Take, take.